Good evening, everyone. I, K.R. Deshmukh, the Vice Chairperson of Chapter B, BVPIEEE, welcome you all to the second edition of our flagship event, Innovicon. Bharati Vidyapeeth College of Engineering's student branch of IEEE is a team of 60 dedicated and talented members who wish to make a change with their skills. Till now, we have successfully conducted technical and non-technical sessions both offline and online. We have also conducted many technical competitions to promote the students in this field. Our team believes in consistency and progress. Coming to our flagship event, the first edition of Innovicon was held in February 2019. The conference was based on data science and artificial intelligence. As you all know, due to the pandemic, the world took hold. Every sector is adversely affected, including the educational sector. Undergraduates like me are in a dilemma on how to stick to their career choices. Numerous questions like should we go for abroad for further studies or should we take up a job in India or how will the examination pattern change were in our mind. As we all are facing these problems, our responsible team of BVPIEEE thought of a solution. And now, here we are, hosting the second edition of Innovicon virtually, which throws light on higher education sector. We will be conducting a series of webinars in a span of 5 days covering up major examinations like GATE, GRE, GMAT, CAT, IELTS, and TOEFL. It's the first session of Innovicon, which covers all the examinations that falls under Union Public Service Commission, most popularly known as UPSC Examinations. Today, we have highly experienced mentor who has impacted more than 10,000 civil service aspirants, Mr. Himanshu Tyagi. He is a national product head of government exam vertical in Career Launcher. Sir will be telling us about how to prepare and strategize for the UPSC examinations. We'll be having a question answer round at the end of this session. So any question that comes to your mind, please drop it in the chat box. Now I request Himanshu sir to take this session forward.
Thank you, Kia. Okay, good evening, everyone. I hope I am audible to each and every one of you. Thank you, Kia, for a nice introduction. And so, my name is Himanshu Tyagi, and I am your mentor for today. So, today, for the first close to 35-40 minutes, we're going to discuss about UPSC CSE examination. So, this is basically UPSC Civil Service Examination, which in normal language or normal lingo we used to call IAS examination. Okay? So in the span of next 40 minutes, we'll understand nitty-gritties of the examination, and we'll also touch upon how to probably, if you are planning to appear into this examination, how you can start with the preparation of this examination. Okay. Okay. So the first thing, I hope if you guys are there in this session, so probably many of you, probably all of you, probably some of you wanted to aspire for to become a civil servant. So my question to you is why exactly? Why you wanted to become a civil servant? If I can have few answers, what could be the reasons for you? It could be anything, it has to be your personal reason. So I'm looking for some answers if possible. If through chat, if we can get few answers, why exactly you wanted to prepare for civil services? Yeah. Okay, no problem. I believe we are facing a little difficulty with the chat window. It may happen. Okay, so when yeah, great. If I can know, great. Okay, what else? Anything else? Oh, okay, okay. 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 So generally, I used to get these answers. Obviously, to serve the nation is the most kind of an answered thing. Other than that, somebody says I wanted to go for power. Somebody wants to go for fame. Somebody wants to go for money. Okay. See, my point is not. I really don't want to. No answer is right or wrong. Why I am asking this question is because if you wanted to prepare for UPSC, see, it's a very long preparation and it's a very complex preparation. You have to spend close to a year into this preparation, bare minimum. Okay, and it's a very long, complex syllabus to deal with. So what will happen is when you start preparing for UPSC Civil Services, there bound to be some time, some duration, some moments where you feel down, where you feel what I'm doing. Am I doing it right, or will I gonna be succeed? This is too much for me. Okay, at that particular moment, what will gonna back you up, or what will gonna make you come back to your preparation is that why. Okay, so it is extremely important to know why you wanted to do. Okay, it can be as silly as I wanted to probably uh, kind of own the administration of a city. I wanted some kind of a powerful position. It could be anything. Okay, so but you really need to know why you wanted to do it. Okay? Now somebody says that I wanted to do it to serve the nation. Okay? I'll just tell you, why there is so much kind of an aspiration to become a civil servant. Why there is this job is considered as a dream job for a lot of students. They're kind of crazy about it. Okay, see, what is the duty of an IAS officer or a civil servant? What will happen is in the normal duration of our talks, our debates between our friends, between our network, between our families, we usually have kind of opinion about everything. Okay, we have opinion about probably a red light which is not working in the next corner or next section. We have opinion about how we are dealing with China or how we are dealing with Pakistan. We have opinion about how we are dealing with sanitization activity and a lot of other stuff. Okay, now this is the job where you can actually make a difference, where you can actually drive country to different things that you wanted to do, that you have opinion about. Okay, this is the job where who actually formulate policy and execute the policies which take India forward or the country forward. Okay, so this is basically the job in India, the most kind of, you can say, uh, service to the nation kind of a job. Okay, where you're actually making the difference what you are talking about. So if you really are very serious about uh, kind of changing things around you, this is the job for you. And obviously it comes with the perks of the power that you get, the fame that you get, the kind of obviously money is also involved in this, and there are certain other factors that are there. Okay, you get a lot of chance to travel, you get a lot of chance to work into different segments of country's administration. So the kind of exposure that you get in this job, no other job comes even closer to it. Okay, so that is why there is so hullabaloo about this job. Now, if you really wanted to prepare for UPSC, one question that comes up in our mind is, what is the right time to prepare? Okay. I believe that most of you or all of you are into your graduation. Okay. So generally, there are three times where you can think of starting the preparation. One is when you are into your schools, one is when you are into graduation, and one is after graduation. A lot of students ask me that what is the right time out of it. Okay. So, see, if I compare between these three, the right time is at the time of graduation. Okay, but otherwise, there is no wrong time to start the preparation for UPSC CSC. It's a very wide syllabus, very wide scope. So you require time to cover everything. So instead of 1 year, if you have got 2 years in hand, so then obviously you can divide your syllabus and you can work more effectively to cover that syllabus. So I believe if you start in the pre-final year or a little 1 year before that for your preparation, that would be the ideal time. Okay, because what will happen is that year on year UPSC also makes certain changes in the syllabus or the pattern of the examination. Thankfully, from past close to 4 to 5 years, UPSC have not done that. Okay, but it's due to happen probably in next 2 or 3 years. Okay, so what will happen if you start very early, like in the class 11th or 12th? What may happen is by the time you appear into the examination, the pattern have almost changed. So whatever you have prepared may not be very fruitful or at that particular time. So if you are into your graduation, if it is a 4-year graduation, second or third year is the right time to start your preparation. Okay. Again, I'm not saying if you are into final year of your graduation or if you are done your graduation, it is a wrong time. Okay. But if you got more time, that's always better. Now let's understand about the examination in a little detail. So the examination is being conducted by Union Public Service Commission. It is an administrative body of the government which conducts the examination, and the examination is called Civil Service Examination. Okay, it happens for 24 different services. IAS is one of them. So it is not only for the IAS post. It happens for 24 different services. Okay, some of them are all India services, which are IAS, IPS, and IFS, and others are central and group B services. So if you just wanted to glance through on your screen, you can find out different services which are available. Okay, so you have IAS, which is Indian Administrative Services, IFS, IPS, then you have Audit and Accounts, Revenue Services, Defense Accounts, IT. Okay. So there are 24, 25 different services that you can go for with the same single examination. It depends on your preference and the rank that you get. Now, the selection process, how it works. So this examination is divided into 3 different parts. Okay, the first stage is called prelims, then mains, then interview, which is called personality test in official language. So the notification for the examination, which is basically the forms are out in the month of January, February. Then your prelims happens in the month of May, June, and your main examination happens in the month of October, November. After that, your personality test or interview happens in the month of March, April, and the result comes in the month of May. This is the standard process that UPSC follows year on year from past close to 4 to 5 years. This year, because of the situation we are in, because of the pandemic situation, the examination has been deferred. Okay. So the examination which was supposed to happen on 31st of May, the prelims, the first stage, it has been deferred to 4th of October 2020. Okay. Which means they also have to defer the main examination. So instead of October, now it will happen in January 2021. And subsequently, the interviews will also get delayed. This means that somebody, if you are one of them who is preparing for 2021, which is the next year examination, you may find yourself, the examination, prelims examination in the month of August. Okay. So there'll be delay in next year examination as well. After that, you can expect it to come down to again the standard dates of May, June in prelims and October, November in mains. Okay. Now just understand the eligibility criteria. So you have to be a plain graduate. You can be from any kind of graduation. There is no pass percentage required. So you just need to be a pass graduate. Okay. You can give this examination between 21 to 32 years of age, and you can give it 6 times. Okay. So that is the number of attempts which are fixed. The upper number of attempts are 6 that you can give, maximum attempts. If you belongs to reserved category, that means OBC, SC, ST categories, or if you belongs to defense service personnel or disability criteria, there are certain age relaxations and attempt relaxations for you. But if you are from general category, 21 to 32, 6 attempts. Now, this is the most important slide for the whole PPT, whole session. So this particular slide talks about the complete examination pattern as a whole. So this tells you the complete examination pattern in paper by paper style. So the first column, so the first stage that I have to go through, if I'm going for UPSC CSC examination, the first stage is called prelims examination. Now this stage is a one-day examination and there are 2 papers, which means there are 2 shifts, morning and afternoon, of which there are 2 papers. Okay. Both the papers are objective type. That means there are multiple choice questions. You have an OMR sheet and you have to find out the right option. Okay. The 2 papers which happens in the prelim stage, one is called general studies. This comprises of your history, geography, polity, economics, and all stuff. And the second one is called CSAT, which is an aptitude test, which is maths, reasoning, general mental ability, reading comprehension, and all stuff. Okay. Now, both these papers are 200 marker, but there is a major difference between these two papers is that the CSAT paper, which is the paper 2 of prelims examination, it is a qualifying paper. This means that you just need to pass in this paper. You just need to score 33% marks into this paper, and whatever else, extra that you score other than 33%, that is not being counted. So the marks are not being counted for this paper. You just need to qualify or pass in this paper. So everything boils down to general studies into the prelims examination. Only the marks of general studies is being counted for your eligibility into the mains examination. Okay. There are 80 questions that they ask in CSAT, and there are 100 questions that they ask in general studies and prelims. There is 1/3 negative marking in both the papers. Okay. Now, once you qualify for mains examination based on your general studies score, the mains examination is a 5-day long examination. Okay. And it's a subjective examination. Subjective means you have to write descriptive answers, just like you write probably in your semester examination or 10th-12th examination. Now, there are 9 papers into this, out of which the first 2 papers are again qualifying. Okay, so this is paper A and paper B. We call them language papers. Qualifying means you just need to pass in these papers. Okay, the first paper is called Indian language. This means that you need to select one language, whatever the constitutional language are there in India. So there is a choice of close to 26 languages that UPSC gives, out of which you can choose one language on which you want this paper to be on. Okay, and the second paper is a compulsory English paper. So that is the English language paper. If you wanted to refer what kind of a paper this paper A and paper B language papers are, you can just check out your 10th class board paper, where you have given an English paper and probably a language, maybe Hindi or whatever language state that you belong to. Okay, so there is no kind of an condition from the UPSC that you have to choose Indian language based on your 10th language or 12th language or anything. You can choose any language based on your comfortability. Okay. Now, once you are done with your language papers, these are the 7 papers, the rest 7 papers which are being counted for final ranking. Okay. So what are these papers? So first is called essay paper, where you have to write a long essay. So they give you choices of different topics, of which you have to choose one and you have to write an essay. Then there is general studies, 4 papers, general studies 1, 2, 3 and 4. And after that you have one optional subject, of which there are 2 papers for optional. Okay. All these 7 papers are 250 markers. So in total 1750 marks, which are allotted to mains examination. And based on the score that you get out of this 1750, you will get a call for interview or personality test round, which is the step 3. Okay, stage 3. The interview is 275 marker. Once you get a score in interview, it is being added to your main score, and 1750 plus 275, that means out of 2025, you are being judged and your final ranking will be prepared. Okay, so whatever you score in mains plus whatever you score in interview, that is being added, and then your final ranking will come. I hope the examination pattern is now clear to all. If you've got any query related to this, you can just put in the chat window. So probably after the session, we'll take on each and every query of yours. Now, there is a column on the far right side where I've written certain numbers in the boxes. Okay, this is important for the preparation part of yours. Okay, so what exactly they signify? They signifies the weightage of that particular paper into the scheme of things. Okay, so for example, the prelims examination, the 100% weightage is of general studies into the final score. Okay, because CSAT is a qualifying paper. Now, when we come down to the main examination, if we take 2025 as a base, 49% weightage is given to general studies. Okay. Now, this means in the prelims examination, you have 100% weightage to GS. In the main examination, you have 49% weightage to GS. So when you start your preparation and you make your timetable for the UPSC exam preparation, you need to make sure that you give that due importance to general studies into the whole scheme of things. So you give that kind of a weightage to general studies into the preparation module. Okay. So if you are, let's say, preparing for 6 hours a day, you should give almost close to 70% of your time to general studies preparation based on the weightage that is there in the exam. Okay. The second biggest weightage is of optional paper, which is 25%. So that comes down at the second priority, and then so on and so forth. So that is how you can create a timetable for yourself while preparing for UPSC examination. Okay. Now, let's also just glance through the syllabus of the examination, because it is extremely important. Okay, please, if you're preparing for UPSC CSC examination, the first thing that you need to do to start your preparation is that you need to download the UPSC notification from the website, which is upsc.gov.in. In the notification, you will find the syllabus of the examination. Please, please, please memorize the syllabus of the examination. Okay. See, at every juncture of your preparation module, what you're gonna find into this UPSC exam preparation is that there is plethora of books available, sessions available. There are a lot of notes available. Too much of information. Okay, your newspaper is filled with too many news items. Now you need to decide what you have to read, what you should ignore. Okay, same way you have to decide if the faculty who is teaching the session that you are attending, is it actually related to UPSC? Is it actually significant as far as the UPSC syllabus? Should I attend this session or should I don't attend this session? Okay, same ways when you are reading a book, you can divide, this particular portion is not important for UPSC because it is not there in the syllabus. See, one thing that will always you always fight with it if you're preparing for UPSC examination, that will gonna be time. Okay, you always have shortage of time if you're preparing for UPSC examination. So it is extremely important, it is the most important thing that you use your time very judicially, and you'll be able to use your time only when you know what is there, which you are reading or learning. Is it relevant for UPSC or it is not relevant for UPSC? And how will you get to know? You'll get to know by the way of syllabus. So you need to make sure that you memorize at least the prelim syllabus and GS main syllabus. Okay. So we'll just touch upon a bit about the syllabus. So this in front of you on the screen is the syllabus for prelims examination, paper 1, general studies. So it comprises of your current affairs. Okay. So issues of national and international importance. You have history of India. You have world and Indian geography. You have polity and governance of India. You have economics. You have environment, ecology, biodiversity. You have science. Okay, so this is the topics which are present in the prelim syllabus. Okay. Then comes down to your paper 2 of prelims, which is CSAT. So this comprises of your reading comprehension, general mental ability, decision making, mathematics up till 10th standard, and English comprehension. Now, the mains examination, if we goes to first 2 papers are language. I've already told you about them. Essay, again, you have to write an essay. Then general studies 1 means history and geography. Okay. So here you also have art and culture included. Then general studies 2 means polity, governance, social justice, and international relations. Okay. GS3 means science and technology, economics, environment, security, and disaster management. So what UPSC have actually did is that what they were asking into your prelims examination in one single paper, they now have divided into 3 different parts. Okay, and they have added few nits and bits out here. Okay. So for example, in your prelims there is no world history, but in your mains examination they touch upon world history as well. Now, the general studies paper 4 is a new addition which is not there in your prelims examination. It is called ethics, integrity, and aptitude. Okay. Generally, they ask moral, issues related questions out here. Okay. Then comes your optional subject. So you have to select one optional subject out of the choice of 25 optional subjects that UPSC gives you. So you have to choose one subject, and there are 2 papers of the same subject. Okay. So that is about your prelims and mains examination syllabus as a whole. As far as the interview is concerned, which is also called personality test in official language, what UPSC judge you? So they judge you on your decision making skills majorly. Okay, so they judge you on leadership quality, how logical you are into your answers, what kind of a judgment you have, and then obviously overall fitness to the public services, if you fit into that role of civil servant or not. Just to give you a little sneak peek into how UPSC interview questions are, you may have heard few of the question that goes around into WhatsApp and different other things. Those were not the actual questions. Those were made. I don't know why. You can just check out the questions that actually asked into interview stage of UPSC. So generally, what they ask you about your background, your academic background. So if you have done your engineering, let's say into mechanical, so they may ask something related to the mechanical engineering, some kind of a principle related to that. they can also touch upon the place that you belongs to. So, for example, if you belongs to, let's say, Aligarh from UP, they may touch upon something related to maybe locks, because that's famous out there. Okay, so anything which is famous at your particular place, they're gonna ask questions about that. They're gonna ask questions about your aspirations, your dreams, why you wanted to do this particular thing. They're gonna ask questions about different problems that this country face. What are your solutions to that? Okay, so these are the questions that usually they ask into interviews. Okay, now this is all about the examination pattern and examination syllabus. I hope now you are fairly clear about the examination structure, and this is extremely important. If you are planning to start about the preparation of this exam, you really need to know how this examination is being conducted and what all is included. Okay. Now the next section is about how actually you can start your preparation. Okay, so if you have decided that you wanted to go for this particular examination, how actually you can start your preparation. Okay, now one thing I really wanted to point out here, I've seen a lot of students kind of have this notion that it's kind of an unending syllabus that UPSC has. It's very undoable kind of an examination, and it's extremely tough. And I have seen a lot of students who actually don't even go through the examination or don't even check out the syllabus, and they just bump out the idea of doing a civil services examination preparation, or attempting the examination. Believe me, it's been close to 13 years now into this stream. I have counseled more than 10,000 students now. A lot of my students are successful into this examination, and lot more than are actually not successful. Okay, but one thing I can certainly tell you, that this examination can be complex, but it is not kind of, you can say, that extreme tough that you have made it to be. Okay, that you think of it to be. Okay, there is very compartmentalized syllabus. If you go through the syllabus nuancely, you'll find out that it's very compartmentalized. It's very limited. Okay, it's very doable as well. What you need is, you need kind of a very disciplined and constant approach, plus a mentorship from someone. Other than that, I have seen, I was just talking to one of my students 3 days back. He is 100% blind. Okay, and he scored close to 70% marks into his 10th and 12th standard. He is now an Indian Information Service officer. Okay, he has cleared this examination. He has got 600 plus rank out onto this examination. If he can do it, anybody can do it. Okay, he was not a very good student into his studies. He is 100% blind, so you can understand the challenges that he has, and still he has cleared the examination. And I have n number of examples like that. Students who were not very good into their academics, but they have this. What you require is, actually you wanted to do it, so that why is important, and then you have to do it. Once you decide about this examination, you'll be able to do it. I can tell you with a very certainty. Okay. One other thing, one other good aspect about the UPSC examination is that now the syllabus of the UPSC examination, or the pattern of the UPSC examination, is somewhat or almost similar to other different examinations that government take. Okay, so like you have examination for RBI, SSC, banking. You have examination for APFC, you have examination for assistant commandant, you have examination for Indian Forest Services. Majority of this examination have the same pattern of general studies and aptitude. Okay, the only difference is somewhere aptitude has a higher weightage, somewhere general studies have a higher weightage. So if you prepare for UPSC Civil Service Examination, you automatically got prepared for close to 25-30 different examinations. And God forbid, if you're not able to clear the UPSC examination, you will 100% will clear at least 4 or 5 different other examinations, and you will be at a better place, at a good place into the government services at an officer stage. Okay. Now, if you really wanted to start preparation for this examination, one thing I told you, obviously, you have to go through the syllabus of the examination. That is the first step that you need to do. The second thing that you need to do is, you need to go through the past year papers of the examination. Okay, why it is important to go through past 2 to 3 years papers is because you need to understand what kind of questions UPSC asks. So when you are reading certain topics, when you're reading let's say your NCRTs, your reference books, or your news items, you need to be able to visualize questions that can come up. Okay, so that is why first you just go through the syllabus. That is the step one if you wanted to prepare for UPSC. Second, you need to go through past 3 years papers bare minimum. Okay, after that, then you need to start with your NCRTs. Okay, so I would first ask you to cover for 6th to 10th standard NCRT. Okay, for polity, history, geography, economy, and science, and then probably you can also go through 11th, 12th NCRT for geography and history. Okay, now it is extremely important that you study NCRT with the syllabus of UPSC, because there are certain chapters, certain topics which are not relevant for UPSC. So for all the subject, it is not that you have to read every chapter of every class book. Okay, so there are certain chapters which are not relevant for UPSC CSE examination. So go strictly according to the syllabus if you are reading NCRT. So that is the first basic fundamental thing that you need to do. That you need to go through the NCRT. So if you see the syllabus that we have talked about of prelims examination, you will find that almost 40-45% of your syllabus coverage can be done through NCRT alone. Okay, what you need to do if you wanted to go through NCRT, so you can start from 6th standard. Choose any of the subject. You can start either with history, geography, polity, economics. It's up to you. Okay. There is no tug of war between new and old. So there are 2 editions of NCRT available. You can choose any one of them. Okay. Try to create then and there notes. So what I mean by then and there notes is, on the pages which you're reading, just put in certain points or highlight certain things. So probably if you wanted to come back to them at a later stage, so you can just read out those points and your revision is done. Okay, and go subject wise. Okay, do not go class wise. So do not do it like class 6, first you read polity, then history, then geography. So if you're starting polity or if you're starting history, read it from class 6 to 10th at one stretch. Okay, then go to the second particular subject. Okay. Now, there are a lot of students who ask me that is NCRT that much relevant? Can't I start with the coaching, and can't I start with the general studies reference books that usually I've read on internet? So I have just I am trying to tell you how important is NCRT. So there are questions that UPSC asks which directly comes from NCRT. Now this is an actual prelims question, okay, from 2018. This is a pure NCRT question, comes directly from NCRT. Can somebody answer these questions for me? So the Nagara, Dravida, and Vesara, what are these? A, 3 main racial groups of Indian subcontinent. B, 3 main linguistic divisions. C, 3 main styles of Indian temple architecture. D, 3 main musical gharanas. Anybody, if you can answer.
So we have an answer.
Yes. So Shivam, Vaibhav, you are correct. Okay. So these are actually Indian temple architectures, and this question comes directly from class 11th, Indian art NCRT. Okay. So these are actually temple architecture, style of temple architecture that that are being followed at that particular time. Okay. So NCRTs are actually very, very important. That doesn't mean that just by doing NCRT you can do the complete syllabus. There are a lot of sections which are not available in NCRT. So NCRT are just your basic fundamentals. Okay, your base it will create for for the different general studies topics and concepts that you have to read also from the reference book, or probably from institution that you may join, or somebody who is guiding you. Now, the second thing, once you are done with NCRTs, so probably if you do 6th to 10th or 11th, 12th NCRT, it will take you close to 3 months time duration. Okay, 90 to 100 days, what actually you may have to spend to cover up the NCRTs. Only after that, I would probably advise you to go through current affairs seriously for the examination. Because see, what happens is when you're reading current affairs, when you're reading a news, UPSC style of reading a newspaper or news is that you should be able to follow that. You should be able to connect news with general studies syllabus. Okay, so for example, this particular news is part of general studies paper 2. Okay, polity and international relations. This particular news is part of general studies paper 3. Okay, this is from biodiversity or science, so it comes in so you have to have that kind of an understanding. That will only come when you have certain kind of an exposure. Okay, you cannot delay your current affairs till you are done with your general studies as a whole. So what I would say, that first cover up your NCRT, so you'll get a basic idea about what is history, geography, polity, economics of UPSC is, and then probably you can start reading your newspapers. Okay, so the best way of doing current affairs is to start with a newspaper. Okay? The recommended newspaper for UPSC examination is your The Hindu or Indian Express. Now, one thing that you need to make sure while you are doing your current affairs preparation, I'll discuss about different other sources that you can follow, but you need to make sure that you have some kind of an you can say discipline or some kind of a restriction that I'll follow only these sources. Because what will happen once you start going onto internet or different apps, there are too many sources right now, too many things going on as far as UPSC current affairs is concerned. You'll have at least 50 types of different notes that comes out in the market daily. There are close to 30-40 different YouTube videos that happens on a daily basis. If you go by them, you're gonna kind of, it becomes very difficult to filter out what to study, what not to study. Okay? So what I would tell you, just decide the sources that you want to follow for the next 1 year, and then stick to those sources. Believe you me, it will be doable very easy. Okay. And obviously, important is that you start connecting everything with syllabus and past year question paper. So you need to start imagining, visualizing what kind of questions that can come. If you're reading about, for example, there is 150th birth anniversary of Gandhiji, which let's say coinciding with 2019 or 2020. So you need to imagine what kind of question UPSC can ask from this, because it's a history section question. Okay. Now, just to give you a little idea about how important current affairs is, so I've taken data of last 9 years or 10 years examination, prelims examination. So there are 100 questions that they ask into general studies. You can check out in last 5, 6, 7 years, they're asking close to 25 to 35 questions from current affairs. Okay, so this is the importance of, so it can make or break your attempt of UPSC examination. And the story is same for main examination as well. You'll find that general studies paper 2 and paper 3, that means polity, IR, science, your economics, all these topics, you'll find almost 90% of questions being asked because something happened related to that in that particular year. Okay. Now, current affairs sources that you can follow. So the Hindu or Indian Express, whatever the newspaper that you are following, that's a must. Then you can follow the economic survey and budget of that particular year in which you are appearing for the examination. PIB and PRS, these are government sources that you can follow. Then you have magazines like Yojana and Kurukshetra that you can follow. And if you are into videos, then you can follow Rajya Sabha TV debates. So there is a channel called as Rajya Sabha TV, RSTV. You can just watch out the debates that happens out there and their coverages. If you're following this much, your current affairs is done. That's good enough, more than enough, actually. Okay. Now, a lot of students ask me that reading newspaper is kind of a very, very lengthy task that they find out. They have to spend close to 3 hours, 2 hours to read the complete newspaper, and they feel difficulty to understand what to read, what not to read. So I have just made a comparison for you all, that there are certain things which are must read for you, and there are certain things which are must ignore or don't read for you. Okay, if you follow this, your newspaper time, covering the newspaper time will cut down by 50%. Okay, so if you are spending close to, let's say, 1.5 hours or 2 hours right now into covering the whole newspaper, you may have to spend close to 45 minutes or 1 hour only. Okay, and that is important because you have to do other lot of things. Okay, so the must read things into our newspapers are, so you have anything related to national or international importance, you should read that. Anything related to business economics, you should read that. Anything related to science, biodiversity, health, you should read that. And editorials of Hindu and Indian Express, that you should read. Okay. Now, don't read. So anything related to sports and entertainment, other than the national awards, you should ignore that. Any day-to-day political brickling, what Mamata Banerjee said or what Modi ji said, you have to ignore that. Any kind of state news, local news, ignore that. Any kind of crime news, stuff news, death, kidnapping, all that, ignore that. Any kind of press conferences, ignore that. Okay, so these are the things that you should not read into your newspaper. And then what you also need to make sure is, you need to make sure that you try to connect whatever you're reading with your UPSC syllabus and try to visualize possible question that can come. Okay, so instead of making notes of what you're reading in newspaper, I would advise you, recommend you that, let's say if you have read about India-China conflict that is going on, which is related to the international relation part of GS paper 2. Okay, what you can visualize is that this is the kind of question that can come, and then write down the answer of that question instead of the notes. Okay, this way you will not gonna be forgetting anything about that issue because you are writing an answer, and then while revision you can just read the answers that you have written, and your revision will be done in no time. The reference book. So, once you're done with your NCRTs and you've started with your current affairs, then you can move on to the reference books. I've listed few of them. There are lot many books available into the market. I'm not saying these are the only books that you should read. Based on my experiences, for polity, you can refer Lakshmi Kant. For modern India, you can refer Spectrum. For geography, you can refer Jesse Leon. For environment, Shankar IAS have the best book. For Indian economy, you can refer Ramesh Singh. Okay, this is only after you complete your NCRTs. Now, once you are done with all these, what you also need to make sure that side by side, these are the things that you keep on doing. So after you are completing your NCRTs, till your examination, just make sure that you keep reading Yojana and Kurukshetra. These are monthly magazines, so they come once a month. So every month I'll read my Yojana Kurukshetra. I'll visit once a week PIB website. Okay, Press India Bureau website. I'll read the newspaper on a very daily basis. I'll make sure that I'll be making notes or writing answers while I am reading, and that's it. You are done. Okay. After that, what will happen is, once you are done with your preparation, what remaining is that the revision part, and you have to make sure that you test yourself before the examination. So join a good test series. Practice for at least 30-40 mocks before you give the actual examination. Okay. And the picture that you are seeing in front of you, this picture is of Labasna. It is Lal Bahadur Shastri Academy, where everything starts for a civil servant. So touch wood, if you clear the examination, this is where you're going to land up at the first year. Okay, Sheelam Param Bhushanam is their motto, which says character is the best virtue or the only virtue. Okay. Oh, so this is all about the UPSC CSC examination that I plan to cover. I hope now you are a little more aware about the examination structure and all. So my name is Himanshu Tyagi. In case if you wanted to reach out to me after the session, you can reach out to me at himanshu.tyagi@careerlauncher.com. Now I'll open the house for different questions that you may have. Any kind of a query, I'll be happy to assist you for any questions related to the UPSC examination. Oh, sure. Just a minute.
So we have a bunch of questions with us while you were circulating the form. We had some questions. So you want to address them first, or you want to address the live chat once?
So what I can do is, I have opened the live chat on my mobile, so I can just start answering these live chat questions, and probably then afterwards we'll take the other questions.
Okay, sure.
Okay. So let me just go to the questions. Okay, so Shaurya is asking, who do you think holds more power, politician or IAS, and what factor makes this exam so prestigious? So I've already told you what factor makes this exam prestigious. I'll answer your query. The fact that there is sure shot stability and respect if cleared or the position. Okay, see, you need to understand one thing, Shaurya, that politicians obviously commands these civil servants, but anything related to policy formulation or execution, that has been prepared by a civil servant. So, for example, let's talk about demonetization. Okay, now how this demonetization exercise happened? obviously Modi ji, or maybe the finance minister, they are not that kind of a learned person that they have kind of visualized this demonetization thing on their own. Okay? So what exactly happened at that particular level, that they have some kind of a problem statement. For example, Modi ji and their battery of ministers, they have a problem statement. Let's say that problem statement can be corruption, that problem statement can be black money, that problem statement can be some other thing that is there in their mind. So what they do is they pose that problem statement in front of the civil servants that they command. Okay. Now these civil servants come up with different possible solutions that can India take to address those different things. Different problems that is there in the mind of those politicians or esteemed positions. Now, so demonetization is one of the options that may have been proposed by one of the civil servants. Okay. Now, once they have zeroed in on that, they wanted to do this exercise. Now, all the policy formulation or execution, everything again comes back to civil servant. Okay. So everything actually drives by civil servant. They can actually drive politicians what they want them to do. Okay. So in a way, it will become kind of a more powerful position, sometimes more than the politician itself, because they're not that learned what to do, what not to do. Okay. So this what I'm trying to tell you is that this is the position where you can actually formulate what is to be done to make sure that India moves forward. Okay. I hope I have answered your query. What is the age limit for general category student? It's 32 at the moment. Okay. So it used to be 30, but there is +2 extra given by UPSC until any other notification that comes from UPSC side. It is 32. So between 21 to 32 years of age, you can give this examination. Now, Vikrant is asking, when we are just starting the preparation, then still after reading the syllabus, not able to filter out what to study because nothing is known and no one to guide. Vikrant, if you follow the, if you have actually read the syllabus, I really don't think so that you will face that difficulty. The problem is that we actually don't read the syllabus before starting the preparation. But at least I have seen in my past 12 to 13 years that 95% of the students don't even go through the syllabus in a way that it should be gone before starting their preparation. Okay. When I say that you have to read syllabus, I'm saying that you have to spend close to 2 to 3 hours with the syllabus. So, for example, if I'm going through Prelims Examination syllabus from the notification and read something called as Indian National Movement. So, what I need to do is I need to check out what is being to be covered in Indian National Movement. So, I have to spend close to 10 to 15 minutes with that topic to understand when we say Indian National Movement, what is Indian National Movement and what exactly I have to cover in all. Okay, so that information you'll find from various websites. You can just go to careerlauncher.com/UPSC. So bit by bit, topic by topic, you will find the kind of detail of the syllabus. Okay, so once you go through that, then it will become very easier for you to understand what to study, what not to study. Okay, being said that, see, this is a complex examination. There is no two way about it. It's complex to the T. It's very wide. There is no doubt about it. So you require some kind of a mentorship for this examination. This still is a kind of a traditional examination where you have to slog, few good number of hours on a daily basis, and then you have to go through at least 10, 12 different subjects, and you cannot be master of each and every subject. Okay, so you require somebody's guidance on mentorship into this. Okay, now what you can do is, for example, if you are self-preparing right now, you have two ways of doing it. One is that you find someone in your network who has credibility into this examination. For example, someone who is into teaching of UPSC examination, or who has cleared this examination, or even have cleared, let's say, main stage. Okay, somebody in your known set. Okay, any parent, family, anything. Okay, so then neighbors or someone. So you can take his guidance and then start preparing. Second thing, today, because of this pandemic situation, one good thing that happened is that all the institutions have now, launched their online kind of programs, and these programs are very kind of convenient, and they are, in terms of financials, they are very, very appealing. Okay, some of the programs are available at 10% or 15% of the cost of their actual value that they charge in offline things. Okay, so I would recommend you join those online programs, follow their guidance, and then keep preparing at your home. You need not to go anywhere now to prepare for UPSC examination. Okay. The world has changed, you also have to change. Okay, Prashant is asking how much we should focus on our honor subject in graduation for the interview. I've done honors in mathematics. uh, See, if you have done your graduation in mathematics honors, so they expect you to know the basic concepts. Okay, so some of the very kind of basic concept that everybody should know who has done his mathematics honors graduation. You should be knowing those concepts. That's what is their expectation. Okay, so if you have done fairly well into your graduation, see, they are not looking forward to some kind of a researcher, okay, or some kind of an topper. Otherwise, they would have mentioned that into their eligibility criteria that we are looking for graduates who have scored more than 80% into their graduation. They would have mentioned that. Okay, if they have mentioned passing graduate, that means they require someone who have basic knowledge of what you have done, into your graduation. Okay, so that is what is expected from you into the interview. Okay. Vaibhav is asking, do they include world wars in world history? Yeah, some part of World War is included. Yes, NCRT में नहीं है, so it is not included in NCRT. So that is why you have to follow certain reference books. Okay, that is why I have told you a few books which you have to read after NCRT. So NCRT is just what 40-45% of your syllabus. The rest you have to cover from different books, or maybe if you're joining any institution, they'll get you covered. Okay. How should a CSC participant start preparing third year? I've already told you how to start your preparation. Whether you are in third year or second year, the steps will remain the same. You have to go through syllabus, past year papers, NCRT, current affairs, then your reference books. Okay, that is the order that you need to follow while starting your preparation. Even if you are in second year, third year, or final year of graduation. The only difference that will happens, if you are in second year, third year, or in final year. If you are in final year, because you have less time, so you have to spend more number of hours in a day. Okay, so you have to cover syllabus in a faster way than a second year or third year graduate. Okay, if you are into your pre-final year or second year, you have got good amount of time. So even if you spend a little less in a day on a consistent basis, still you will be able to clear the exam. Okay. Should one drop after fourth year? So this is the question from Harsh. Should one drop after fourth year, then prepare, or start preparing in the fourth year itself? Harsh, I would highly recommend you to start right now. Okay, do not wait, after you finish your graduation. See, this examination, you must have heard about it, that it may happen that you are not able to clear it even in your first attempt. Sometime it happens. Okay, there are students who have cleared it in third attempt or fourth attempt. Okay, so whether you do it this year or next year or year after that, it will remains the same thing for you at the end of the day. Okay, the way we approach our graduations, so at least it was there in my time. I've done my graduation from Aligarh Muslim University. Okay, I've done it in IT, and the way I remember it, I used to have a lot of time, with me. If I wanted to do something at that time other than my graduation, I couldn't say that I have any kind of time constant or time limitation with me. I used to, I remember, when semester exam used to happen, we start 15 days prior to that. And before that, we usually, in bits and pieces, we used to study. I don't know how it happens with you guys, but I'm still assuming, it's kind of a same structure that you guys also follow. Nothing have been changed, in past 15 years. Okay, so what I'm trying to tell you is that with graduation, it is extremely possible. Okay, you have got good amount of time. See, those are kind of misconception when you heard somebody saying that you have to spend 12 hours a day or 15 hours a day to prepare for UPSC. It is not humanly possible. It's a 1 year long preparation. How can you study for 365 days, 12 hours a day? It's not humanly possible. Believe you me. What will happen generally is that only at the far end of your preparation stream, that when prelims is just around the corner and you have 2 months left, at that time, because of the pressure, you usually spend 10 hours, 11 hours a day. Actually, it happens. Okay, but what happens is, once you become a civil servant, once you cross the examination hurdle, and when someone is interviewing you, you only remember what you have done just very recently, last 2 months. So at that, the memory of that last 2 months is that I've studied 10 hours, 12 hours, and I proudly says about it. But actually, if you see any UPSC aspirant journey, you'll find that at the starting they all study close to 5-6 hours a day. That's kind of a very average that they study, and the same thing that you also need to follow. Okay, so if you're studying for close to 5 hours or 6 hours a day, if you're into final year of your graduation, but it has to be a very consistent study, a daily routine. Okay, you cannot miss the routine even for a single day if you're preparing for UPSC CS. That's how committed you have to be if you're preparing for civil service examination, and then you can do it with your graduation. That's 100% doable. Okay. Abhishek is asking if we have a tattoo, okay, which is not visible otherwise, for which are we. So tattoo doesn't, make any difference. Okay, that's completely your choice. Okay, so it doesn't make any difference. Don't worry. If you have specs, if you have tattoo, it doesn't matter out there. Okay, what matters is how committed you are to become a civil servant. What matters is how logical you are into your answers. How what kind of decision making capabilities that you have, how you fit into the role of civil servant. Okay, that's what matters into the interview. Okay. I hope I've covered. Okay, there's one more question from Mridul. Should we prepare paper wise separately, like first for prelims then mains, or we should do it all together? Okay, see, prelims and mains are not kind of two different papers. If I talk about general studies, so the history which is there in prelims, it is also relevant for your mains examination. The only difference that becomes between prelims and mains is that in prelims, you have to select one of the option. So even if you are fairly clear about the concept, you can find out the right option out of the four. But in mains examination, you have to be very certain and very deep knowledge about the concept, because you have to write an explanation. Okay, so when you are reading, or when you are at the preparation stage, you should take both the things together. You should prepare for history, not for prelims or mains history. Okay, and if you prepare for history as a whole, both the things will get covered automatically. Okay, so it's a combined preparation, simultaneous preparation, not one after another. Okay, so Shantanu is asking, is there any effect regarding new education policy on UPSC? I don't find any effect as of now, because see, new education policy, at least it will take 2 years to get into existence, to get implemented. And after that, it will take, 10 to 12 years for a student to go through that, policy, get into, get passed out from that policy stages. Okay, so it will not create any difference for you as of now. Okay. Okay, what is the ideal time period for perfect preparation? Should I join a coaching to start my preparation? Can be done by noon. Okay. See, no, perfect is something which is not possible. There is nothing perfect in this world. Okay, so I wouldn't say, there is a perfect preparation or perfect time period. Again, see, how much time you should spend in a day will gonna depend on your capabilities also. Okay. When I say your capabilities, for example, let's say you like history. Okay, you are very good in your history subject. So the day when you are reading history, and let's say you have decided that I have to cover this particular portion of history today, you may end up doing that in 3 hours straight. Okay, and your job for that particular day is done. Okay, but then when you comes down to geography, which is not something kind of you are very comfortable in, and so what you need to do is that you have to decide what I have to study, what I have to accomplish today in terms of topics, in terms of the part of the syllabus. It may take 3 hours or it may take 6 hours based on the subject or based on your capability. So it is a wrong way of doing that. I have to spend 6 hours today, or I have to spend 4 hours today. The right way of doing is that I have to cover this much of syllabus, or this much of topic, or this much of portion today. It may take 3 hours, it may take 6 hours. Okay, if it takes 3 hours, so I'll spend the next 2 hours onto different other things. So I've got liberty of time. So I probably pick up some other topic, some other concept that I'm comfortable in. If it takes 6 hours, so what I'll do, I'll probably everybody has certain capacity to study in a day. Like for example, I cannot study more than 5 hours in a day, for example. Okay, so if I'm not able to cover something which is I have to cover today for in 5 hours, what I'll do, I'll select something easier for tomorrow, and I'll try to cover that in 3-4 hours, and take that 2 hours and cover the backlog of yesterday. Okay, so what I'm trying to portray you, there is no timing that you should follow. You should follow the syllabus, the part of the syllabus. You should have a target set for you. Okay, set that that target could not, it's not that you should have only the daily target. You can have a monthly target or a weekly goal. Okay, so for example, my weekly goal for today, for this week is that I'll cover soils and rain from geography. These two topics I'll cover in this particular week. Now it will take me 3 days, 5 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours. That's my problem. Okay, because it will happen subject wise. You will have different timings to cover different topics. Okay, in general, if you're asking me, so if you wanted to kind of understand that if I'm going on the right path or if I'm doing okay, so if you're spending close to 5 hours in a day on a very consistent basis for a 1 year duration, you can feel that you are on the right path and you are doing justice to your preparation. Okay, so what will happen is you start with 5 hours, and then gradually you will always find out that how it got shifted to 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours, you won't even get to know. Okay, once you start developing interest and once you start feeling the heat, it automatically jumps to 7, 8 hours. Okay, and that's pretty good. 7, 8 hours is very, very good duration for a day. Okay. Okay. Okay, Vikrant is asking how to select optional subject. Now, this particular question is very, very relevant and significant. And this is something, kind of most asked questions in my experience that I find out. So a lot of students face this dilemma, how to actually select the optional subject. Okay. There are a lot of students who ask me, which optional subject I should choose. One thing that I really wanted to recommend, advise, request, whatever you wanted to take it, that do not give this decision of selecting optional subject to anybody else. Okay, if you're doing it, if you're giving this option of selecting the optional to somebody else, you are doing injustice with your preparation. Okay, what you need to make sure that you select your own optional subject. Okay, now there are 26 different optional subjects, the choices that you have. Which one is the best optional? If I would have known, or if anybody would have known, I would have told you, and everybody will select that optional subject only. Then there is no need of other 24, 25 subjects. Okay, so every optional has pros and cons. Okay, it depends on what kind of academic background you have, what kind of interest you have, what is your capability. Are you kind of a theoretical person, or you are a practical, formula based or analytical based question person? So there are n number of factors that goes on. What I could tell you, so it will take close to 4 to 5 minutes to explain this thing, but I believe this is very important, so I'll spend that time. I can tell you, in my experience of last 13 years, I can tell you the most logical way of selecting an optional subject. So I can tell you the process of selecting an optional subject, but that process has to be done by you only. The decision has to be yours, so that you cannot blame tomorrow somebody else for your failure into this examination. Okay. Okay. So how to do it? So it's 4-step process. Okay. The step 1 is that out of the list of 26, so open that list of 26 optional subject in front of you and tick mark 4 subjects that you feel that you are most comfortable in. Okay, so now this 4 subject can be based on, so one subject you can take based on your graduation. Okay, the second subject you can take based on your interest. So probably, in your mind you feel that I have read some kind of psychology and I feel that I'm interested into this. I have read it few chapters or some snippet somewhere and I find it very interesting. I think I should read this. Okay, so that could be based on your interest. Third could be based on your past experiences. So maybe in your school days, you were very good into geography. Okay, you used to score kind of 90-95% marks into geography. You were the topper of your class into geography. So that third choice could be based on your past experience. And the fourth choice could be based on your hunch, the gut feeling. Okay, you have a gut feeling. You have heard or, you have seen a lot of students cracking through anthropology. So this could be my fourth choice. Let's say. Okay, so let's say I've chosen geography, anthropology, psychology, and let's say political science. Okay, so these are the 4 subjects that I have finalized. So that is the step 1. So now what I have done, out of the 25, I have now moved to 4. Okay, I have eliminated 21 different subjects. Okay, now step 2 is I have to go through the syllabus of each subject. So I've chosen 4 subjects. I'll open the notification of UPSC and I'll go through the syllabus of each subject one by one. Spend half an hour on each subject. Okay, so it will take you close to 2 hours to go through all 4 subject syllabus. Okay, now once you go through the syllabus, you will get a better understanding of that subject. So it may happen that you were feeling that I was good at geography, okay, but when I'm seeing the syllabus, this is way ahead of what I've read in school. Okay, they are going a lot deeper than I thought of, and I don't think so I'm capable of doing that much into geography. Okay, so it may happen once you read the syllabus, whatever the notion that you have about that particular subject when you were reading the names only, that notion may get break, and then you are able to eliminate maybe one subject or two subject out of the list of four. Okay, so go through the syllabus, eliminate whatever subject based on the syllabus. Okay, so now I am left with, let's say, 3 subjects. So I'll be able to eliminate one subject, but rest 3, even after reading the syllabus, going through the topics, I feel that these 3 are doable and I can take these as my optional subject. Now step 3 is I have to go through past 2 years paper at least of that particular subject. Okay, now you have not even started your preparation, you have not even selected the optional subject, and I'm telling you to go through the question paper. See, what will happen is, so when I'm reading, let's say, geography syllabus, okay, I'm reading soil, I'm reading, different topics of, let's say, weather and all, seas, oceans, oceanography, climatology. Yeah, this is very theoretical. I used to be good at theory, and I can do it. You have that kind of an understanding. Okay, but when you actually see the question, you will be surprised to see that they were not asking even a single theoretical question. It's completely analogy based, analytical based. It's completely current affairs based questions from geography. Into geography, they were asking questions which are very, very kind of, you have to have a very deep knowledge of concept, and then you have to analyze few things and then come down to a conclusion. Okay, so that required some other kind of capability than just memorizing things. Okay, so what will happen is, once by seeing question paper, you get to know that this subject I cannot go through. Okay, this is something very, very difficult. The questions that they are asking, I am not being able to do it. Okay, so what will happen? You again remove or eliminate one more subject. Okay, out of the list of 3 that I'm left. Now I'm left with 2 choices. Let's say it may also happen by this stage you are left with only one choice. You eliminate all other choices. Okay, but let's say if you're left with 2 choices still, and you are not able to finalize even after going through syllabus and the question paper, then what you need to do, again go to the syllabus of the 2 papers that you are left with. Okay, and select the easiest topic from the syllabus, the easiest most topic that you can find. Okay, now again go to the Google. Okay, go to internet and download the notes of that particular topic. You will find class notes of a lot of students post their class notes onto different websites. Okay, so you'll find them easily. Just download any student's notes, that the writing that you feel you can follow. Okay, and then study those notes, that topic only, the easiest topic that you can find. Okay, it will probably take a day to study one topic, from each of the subject. Okay, when you're actually going through the notes of a certain topic, what you're going through the subject in a miniature format. Okay, so when you're going through the subject in a miniature format, you'll find out that your inner voice will tell you that this particular subject is working and this particular subject is not working. Okay? And that's how, if you follow this logical process of finalizing your optional, you'll never go wrong. Okay, I can bet you on that. And this the way of finding your own subject, it will give you kind of confidence into that subject that you'll sail through very easily. Okay, because you have done your research and then finalize yourself. Okay, just few things that you need to consider while finalizing the final subject. One, that there should be enough material available with you related to that subject. Okay, so if that subject is related to your graduation, then you may have a lot of material on your own. But if that is not related to your graduation, then you have to find out buy some kind of books, or probably download some books. So there should be books available for that subject, because there are certain certain subjects into those 25 list of subjects for which there is not enough material available. Why? Because not every student choose agriculture as their optional subject. Okay, or animal husbandry their optional subject. Okay, so if there is no demand for a certain optional subject, there is no supply of books or mentors or coaching available. Okay. So just make sure whatever subject that you have finalized, there is enough coaching, mentorship or study material available for it. Okay. Now there is one another question is that is coaching mandatory, or should I prepare on your own? See, coaching is not mandatory, that's for sure. Okay, there is no two way about it. Okay, coaching is not something which is mandatory. There are enough number of students who has done it without coaching. Even if any student have taken coaching, they have been able to qualify because they were there. Okay, because they have done their preparation in a way. Because for example, like career launcher, we teach close to 7,000, 8,000 odd student every year for for 2020 attempt, which is due to happen on October. We have taught close to 8,000 students. Okay, but at the end of the day, we got close to what 170, 180 final results. Okay, so why I've taught the same way to each student. So it's not me who have made them civil servant. It's not me who have made them topper. It's they, who had done that. Okay. Now, so if you're preparing on your own, one thing that you need to make sure is that you have to have someone who can guide you. Okay, who can mentor you. Why it is important is because there are 10, 12 subjects that you need to cover. Okay. Now, when there are 10, 12 subjects, there are bound to be 2, 3, 4 subjects which you are not good at. Okay. Now, for those subjects, you will be requiring somebody's guidance. Okay, that's one thing. Second thing, because it's a long and complex preparation, you have to spend close to 12 months into this preparation. They're bound to certain topics, certain stages where you feel low, where you feel that what I have done, am I on the right path? If I'm going at the right speed, if I'm writing the answers in the same way that UPSC asks. Okay, am I reading the right books, right set of material? There are n number of things that comes out. You require some kind of guidance to answer those questions. If you're writing something, writing your notes or writing your answers, you need someone to go through them and check out if you have written them correctly. Okay, so if you can find that mentor on your own, probably in your networks, that's well and good. Otherwise, I would highly recommend to go for these online preparation courses that you have. These are, I believe this is the best option right now. You need not to go anywhere. You are at the comfort of your home. You can start and end your classes as per your own convenience. If you wanted to study at 2 a.m. in the morning, you can just open the class, video will start, and you can, if you wanted to study history right now, you can study history. If you wanted to study geography right now, you can study geography. So you don't have to rely on, coaching to start geography after 1 month and then you will start it. Okay. So this is, I believe, the best possible option for a civil service aspirant because you have convenience. You can have, peace of mind and you are at the comfort of your home. You need not to worry about anything. Okay, so that probably you can follow. Just a minute. What are these questions? Is there any different medical criteria for top services like IAS, IPS, IRS? No, there is no medical criteria. You have to be medically fit. Okay, basic fitness. How would you rate the preparation of UPSC versus JEE Advanced? That's not a fair comparison. You cannot compare apple to oranges. Okay. I have enough time to prepare for UPSC other than my college. So can I prepare without order like first newspaper and then current affairs from NCRT? Not the current affairs from NCRT. What I'm telling you is that first cover up your NCRT books so that they give you a basic idea about your polity, economics, geography, history. So when you are reading news, when you are reading about, let's say, moratorium or maybe fiscal policy or maybe, for example, repo rate going up or down, so you understand those concepts. Okay. If you just start reading economics section of the today's newspaper and if you don't have knowledge of these terms, you feel bewildered. You will not be able to follow through. Okay, that is why I'm telling you to go through NCRTs first, so you'll get the basic concepts, and then when you're reading newspaper, you'll be able to apply those concepts, and your reading would be more self-sufficient, and you need not to refer any sources. Okay. Should one switch to Plan B after 2 failed attempts of CSE because one is disheartened and doesn't really know what to do? See, I cannot quantify that you should switch after to Plan B after second attempt, after third attempt, or after fourth attempt. It completely depends on how you feel about yourself at that particular moment. Okay, I have seen students who have given 5 attempts, 6 attempts. How are they able to do it? Because they knows that they are there. It's just 1 bit, 2 bit that is pushing them back. Okay, then there are students who even after first attempt knows that this is something I cannot do. Okay, so let's not probably invest more time into that, and I'll invest my time onto some other different thing which I am more capable of. So they may switch to RBI exam, or may switch to any other examination, or may switch to job, depends on. So there is no quantification of second attempt, third attempt, or fourth attempt. It totally depends on that. So probably if you prepare for UPSC CSE, you have my email ID. Once you have that kind of feeling at that particular time, maybe after first, second, third, or fourth attempt, at that time we can chat and discuss, and I can understand your mindset, and probably answer that should you quit or should you stay. Okay? I believe I am done with the YouTube chat questions. So if you have any further question here, we can take that.
So we have almost completed all the questions. I just have one question that was in the form. The question is, I have been taught social sciences in Hindi at my school that was semi-English, and all other subjects including mathematics and science were in English. I am doing my graduation in English mode only. What medium should I choose for UPSC, as I am more comfortable with Hindi for basic general knowledge but with English for all other subjects?
You should choose English. Okay, so because it's an amalgamation of close to 12, 13 different subjects. So based on your preference for one particular subject, you should not choose your medium. Okay, you should take majority wise what language medium that you are comfortable in. So if other than social sciences or general knowledge, you are comfortable in English for all other subjects, then you should probably choose English medium. Okay. Any further query?
I don't think so, because
Okay. So great. Thank you for being such an interactive audience. I hope I have not missed any questions from the YouTube chat. And thank you so much. It's great interacting with you all. I hope I am able to make some difference to your preparation.
yes, sir, sure. Thank you, sir, for enlightening us with your knowledge. I am sure that this session must have helped many people, as they had so many doubts, and I hope that they are now motivated enough to excel in the exam. And thank you so much for being an wonderful audience. Tomorrow we will be having two sessions. The first one is at 1 p.m. for CAT examination, and the second one is at 5 p.m. for GMAT examination. So all the MBA aspirants, please tune in tomorrow. And until then, goodbye and take care. And do subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you so much.